Well, definitely, I think confidence is the biggest thing I struggled with is like you kind of just said, like, just go for it, just ask people stuff, reach out to people, just be polite. And I've always felt like I've been a bother reaching out to artists and bigger artists than me for like support or to show them music. And a lot of what we've gone over is like just be confident in yourself. If you're confident in your music, have like a structure, be professional. Once you get that going and you realize they're just other people that had to do similar things, and you kind of like get over that barrier, right? So
Before you joined the program, what were the main things that you were struggling with your artist brand?
definitely marketing. I'd say marketing was the hardest thing, getting my brand out there and getting a solidified idea of what my brand is and what it means.
Yeah, and
That'd
was
probably be.
was there anything in particular about the program that like helped with the marketing?
Oh, definitely the videos helped a lot with the marketing. Like a lot of ideas that I never thought of came from the videos. So getting a direction with like ads sense, like I didn't know at all how to use ads and
Hmm.
like how to start expanding into different markets and stuff like that. That would probably be like the biggest help so far. And obviously some of the stuff with talking to artists and like networking with artists has
Yeah.
probably been the biggest help.
Yeah, I feel like in the first session we did, or even the first two, we actually covered more ground than I ever had in like weeks usually with some students because you already had like a pretty good foundation in terms of like where to go with your narrative. Like you already had a pretty strong idea about the narrative, but we did flesh it out a little bit more. And I think like you have a pretty good direction now of like what you could be doing with the content stuff if you decided to go that route. But I mean, as we did discuss during our time together in the sessions, like the obvious route is like, building more of that artist support and moving the needle forward with like the labels and stuff to like get you onto like the touring phase and then getting your booking agent. So I'm glad we could flesh all that
Absolutely.
out. And so as a result of like implementing everything we did in like the coaching sessions and everything, what was the main thing you felt like you got out of it?
Well, definitely, I think confidence is the biggest thing I struggled with is like you kind of just said, like, just go for it, just ask people stuff, like, reach out to people, just be polite. And I've always felt like I've been a bother reaching out to artists and bigger artists than me for like support or to show them music. And a lot of what we've gone over is like just be confident in yourself. If you're confident in your music, reach out, be polite, have like a structure, be professional. And like once you get that going and you realize they're just other people that had to do similar things, you kind of like get over that barrier, right? So that was definitely, I think, probably the biggest thing from those sessions.
Yeah, I think the main thing people are lacking is either confidence or direction with what they're doing.
Hmm.
But like everyone usually has the right idea of like, their production or what they could be doing, but they just don't know what to be doing because there's so many different options, like so much information out there, right? So
Absolutely.
where do you feel like you would be if you hadn't originally joined the program? Like what do you feel like you'd be doing now?
I'd probably just what I do similarly without reaching out and building my brand. Like I just work on music a lot of the time
Right.
regardless, and I still do that.
Yeah.
But now I try to dedicate at least like 30 minutes ish to like go on social media to make a status to
Yeah.
like get out there opposed to before where I'd post like once a week maybe, and that's just when you're like at the end of the week you're like, damn it, I barely did anything. So now I kind of like wrote it out on like a whiteboard, like a daily task duty of like
Yeah, solid.
comment on some people's stuff and get interactive in like the communities. And then, and then I kind of like go back to working on music, but it's like a slow transition into getting into more, I guess, a more marketing and branding business mindset in a sense.
100%. Yeah, no, you've been doing a solid job with that. And so my last question as well, if there's anyone who's watching this video and is on the fence about jumping on a discovery call with myself or any other student advisors, what would you say to them?
I'd say definitely do it. I think one thing I've learned so far is I've never regretted, especially if something I've thought about, just like it's even with mentoring session with artists and stuff like that. I've never regretted doing it because I've always taken something out of it. even if I never booked a session with like a artist, like a mentoring artist again, I now know that I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Or if I found one that I like, then I want to do it again. And this is something where I booked in this session with you, and then I was like, hell yeah, I definitely want to do this again. Like I
Yeah.
got a lot out of the first one. So
Yeah. And now we got
yeah.
another fucking 52 weeks of, the group stuff. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're still
Locked
going.
in.
Yeah, man. So we're still going.
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome.